Hello, welcome to day 23. And today's intention is to just go with the flow. So let's get started. Hello, welcome to day 23 of our Intentions Instead of Resolutions yoga. And today I want things to be easygoing so that we can just go with the flow. Now, going with the flow is not always a bad thing. It doesn't compromise anything about yourself. When you are a strong individual, it's easy to be able to get along with people and to be able to go along with things and to also weather storms that come your way a lot better. So it does not mean you have to compromise anything. So obviously with this practice, we're going to do a flow and we're going to do some things to help strengthen us so that going with the flow doesn't compromise who we are. So we're going to start in table position. So make sure you've got good alignment. Make sure your knees are directly below your hips, that your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, and then dig. You really want to dig into the mat with the tops of your feet and with your fingertips so that you avoid putting too much pressure on your wrists. Now we're going to stay just like this, just digging into the mat for a couple of breaths. So breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Now we're going to curl our toes under and then lift our knees for hovering table for a count of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and lift up to down dog. So that should have gotten your core engaged, maybe had you shaking a little bit from the prana. The prana is the energy. We want to embrace that. Now, while we're here in down dog, we're just going to sit for just a minute. Well, it's not quite a minute, but for a couple of breaths. So breathe in and out. Try to reach for the mat with your heels. Dig into the mat with your fingertips. Breathe in and out. Now we're going to step up to the head of the mat with our feet slightly apart, a little bit less than hip width, and lean over. Now you can have your legs straight, or you can have a generous bend, which gives us more of a stretch in our hamstrings and our lower back. And while you're here, you can grab opposite elbows and swing back and forth just a little bit. Or if you fear that you might lose your balance, you can keep your hands on the mat and use them to steady you as you go back and forth. What we're looking for is a stretch in our hips. And we're going to rise up halfway to flat back. Really reach forward with the crown of your head. And then lower and sweep our arms up and overhead and bring our hands down to prayer position. Now we're going to drop back down into a forward fold, and we're going to step back with the right foot, then with the left, and we'll be here in plank pose. And what we're going to do is dip our hips to each side. So we're going to start to the left, bring your hip all the way to the mat, back up to plank, hip dip to the right, all the way back up to plank, Really suck your navel to your spine. Reach back with your heels, so you might have to make adjustments after dipping. So now we're going to dip to the left and then dip to the right. And then one more time on each side. So get situated first. Make sure your heels are reaching back. Dip to the left. You should feel your abdominal wall engaged. And dip to the right. Then back up to plank. And we're going to hold for a count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Feel the prana. 7, 8, 9, 10. And up to down dog. Now we're going to do the whole sequence again. So we're going to step up to the front of the mat. This time, have your feet flush together with just a teeny bit of distance between your heels. And lean all the way over. You can grab opposite elbows. And we'll swing a little bit to the right, then to the left, to the right, and to the left. Now we're going to lift up to flat back, reaching forward with the crown of our head. You can have your hands at the top of your thighs. You can do a little airplane arms. So you can find something different than what we did the first time. Then lower and sweeping our arms up and overhead and bringing them down to prayer position. Now we're going to go back into that forward fold, and we're going to step our feet back, right foot first, left foot second. Now what we're going to do different here, we're going to first put our knees on the mat, go down to your elbows, interlace your fingers, make sure your elbows are just under your shoulders, and then lift your knees. So now we're in forearm plank. And we're going to hold this for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then we can lower our knees just to give us a break. Then we're going to go back up and then dip the right knee, raise it, dip the left knee, raise it, dip the right knee, raise it, left knee, raise it, right knee, raise it, and left knee, and raise it. Now we're going to lower to our knees. And from here, we're going to go into a lizard pose. So what we want to do is, starting with our left leg, we're going to raise it up like a low lunge. But what we want to do is have it go out towards the outer edge of your mat. Now from here, we're going to have both hands on the right side of that left foot. And we can just raise our knee from here, or we can keep it down on the mat. It's entirely up to the comfort level that you have of doing this, or having a little bit of a rest on that right leg, because you'll really engage your quads when you have that leg elevated. But what we want to do is go down to our elbows. So I find it's easier with my knee lifted. So this is a lizard variation. Now you can lower that right knee, put that left leg back, and now we're going to raise that right foot up to the foot of the mat, or the head of the mat. Have your toes like right on the edge. And again, there's a couple of variations. You can do it just like this, looking forward, or you can lift your knee looking forward, or you can lower your knee to be able to get onto your elbows, and then raise that back leg. You'll feel a really big stretch on the inside of whatever thigh is forward. And if you suck your navel to your spine, it'll help you with the strength that's required to hold this pose. Then you can lower that knee, and we're going to put that right foot back. And we've been on our wrist a little bit, so you can go back to that hero variation from last time. And just have your hands like resting on your lap, or you can do something fun. What we can do is interlace our fingers and do kind of like a snake kind of thing with our elbows. Or you can just do wrist circles. Now we're going to go straight to down dog. And we're going to raise that right leg, bend that knee, and then lift it. Stack your hips. And then swing that right knee forward to the midline and hold it. And then lift it up to the front for our low lunge. So we went into a variation with the lizard, but now we're in a low lunge. Then we're going to step up, lift up halfway to flat back, lower, and sweep your arms up and over your head and come back down to prayer position. Then we're going to go back to our forward fold, and we're going to step back with that right leg. And now we're in a low lunge on the other side. You can look forward. Then we're going to flatten our hands on the mat and step back to down dog. Now with down dog, what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the edge of our feet. So you can have your feet one in front of the other, or you can have the right foot as a little kickstand, or you can stack them. I lost my strength that allowed me to do this with stacked feet a while ago. So I'm going to have my right foot in front of the left and raising our right arm for side plank. Really lift your hips up in space and then switch. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go over to the sides of our feet and raise that left arm up to the sky. Really pull your hips up. And then lowering that left hand, lowering our knees to the mat. Swing them to one side. And we're going to finish this practice in a seated forward fold. So you want to have your feet, or your legs rather, as just two straight railroad tracks. And you can have your hands by your side, your feet flex towards your face. So we're starting with staff pose. Then raising our hands behind our ears and up to the sky and bending over our thighs with our belly. Now you can grab the sides of your feet and you want to look forward. Now you can have your knees bent if you don't feel confident in having your legs straight. But we're going to look forward and lean in. We're going to take a couple of breaths here. Breathe in and out. In and out. Then raising back up and returning to cross-legged. And we're going to have a couple of breaths with our eyes closed, just to allow us to reflect on that flow and the strength that it gave us, and hoping that it'll allow us to be able to go with the flow a little bit more this week. So close your eyes and breathe in and out, in and out. So I hope you get some really good use from this video and that yoga's become an important part of your life. You'll find that you'll feel better. You'll move from center more often when you're out and about in the world. And you'll just have an overall feeling of wellness. So I'll see you again next time. Bye.